And good evening. We have been the county sports coordinator on the line, Mr. Eric Dan. And then Eric Dan will join this conversation this evening. Football today, Grand Jira County. Where are we right now? Steering committee, GISA, the public, Grand Jira County teams. How far we are right now? What we're planning to do? What is coming up from the superintendent plate, the steering committee plate, and then you join them. Let's see what I can. Good evening, Gita Radio. I'm at having Eric Dan on the line. Hello?
Yeah, hello?
Yeah, is that the county sports coordinator, Mr. Eric Dan?
Yes, indeed, Rama City, the manager of Voice of Gedeh. I am.
Mr. Dan, you are live on the Voice of Gedeh Face the Issue show tonight. Specifically, we want to be talking about football. Successful year before last, and you don't name it. Now, 2026, 2027. How far are we now with regard to the county teams?
Well, Rama, let me say good evening to the people of Rangier County, more especially in the sports arena. The association, the inter and the rest of the community teams, club teams, and well-wishers who are listening to my voice tonight. As regards to the question, you put it very well. We are making sure to work with finances. How can we do not qualify from Grand Bassa County? We our plan to make sure that we have a good record. That is true that the last year again, we have a kind of the year before last, we have a kind of the complete process of district meet. So these are maternity we are then putting there. So all the clear wisdoms and the thinking of the superintendent, he appointed a certain committee to work in line with GICA so that we can focus our efforts in alleviating some of the problems that make the occur so we can work in unity. Again, now it's true that we are in a new city, 2026, 2027, and preparations come up late. And so we have a plan by the which is more especially we in Grand Jira County, having done our case studies in 2-3 years back. When we were local coaches, we see and again, I think the people of Grand Jira County, they lost sports. Sports is not about developing. It's about all being together, but also create a way of peace and good atmosphere and then our feeling, and so that we can have everything concurrent. But indeed, like you said, when we're doing your intro, you first hear from me some years back, a long time, and the rest of the guy on the left of the bush. the day of Mr. Peter Solo to Honorable Kari Party and Honorable Brent now, before even completion of the current committee to Mr. Bill. And so he has said in the provision for us to reconcile with all of the districts in collaboration with the current committee, the new current committee that shouldn't have appointed. But we have a law to take the law, read my word along the line for overlapping functions. There where we are. So we are telling why for you to happen, in still tonight because when we are counting. So we'll be discussing a length of space. But for tonight is specifically that we stand to promote and to extend as regard to the 2026 and 2027 National County Sports Week.
Now, Mr. Dan, the world heard you saying that there is a sticky issue, the steering committee, with regard to what? Injustice. I mean, what is it that you're talking about? No coordination? Somebody job description is not being defined or what?
Well, Mr. Singh, when the superintendent did the appointment, I think that he feel out of the steering committee. And in fact, he appointed the steering committee before he gave a clear out. And those who appointed, those who patronize the duty and the person of the man that were appointed before even clear out the steering committee and being elected. And again, having appointed the steering committee, in some of the students you were having the grade when we went to Basso County, after we were defeated. And then we tell why I was community, you were with us. And he met along with also based upon the energy and the relationship. And so we were appointed as the steering committee chair, including Glasgow in America, as President Batia, Sura Bimo, as technical advisor. And you name the rest of the guys, they are many, the next one, and Chris Rena, and people, and Peter Soon from the community family, or one thing, the PRO, Mr. Bowling, and Chris Watson Bowling, all of these were tactile officials. They are all named, and the PRO and script. We give them all the functions. When we reach you out that you have a ratio, we have a lot of functions, training local coaches, referees, schools administrators, building stadiums, refereeing one, you can speak to administrative education, local testing, to make sure that we create a lot of facilities when we have to even multiply to make effort right. But away from that, we almost feel that on several occasions, there is a next steps coming from the same community and then having a spirit in meeting. There's a really general secretary from the same community. You also get appointed by the superintendent to serve yourself from the local authority arm and on the board of the same community. And so, when the same community appointed, started the working relations very fast. In fact, we create a lot of peace and stability among the citizens among ourselves. But again, the overlapping of questions that we are talking about is difficult from the technical involvement and the technical assessment of ethics. Looking at material out, when we go down to where the superintendent plan, where you have the notes, the material out, fairness, square, and the sense of meaning should not usurp the functions of the graduate school association, being the traditional student authority appointed by the local authority to extend the affairs of all student activities in the county. So that alone covers the entire TOR. Now, how to say that this and this is what we call coordination. It's not about who do that. So when we look at all of these things for each time we met in the cabinet, instead of community want to invest in the malfunction, this one will accomplish it. They want to start doing a lot of work that you actually have been doing. Because we have meeting, we should be telling the interview, and then we'll say, yes, gentlemen, we let work together. For each time we need ideas, we will come to us. And we are not that strong. We are not too good. That's the end. You will even come back and then you will just be going back and forth. Now, what I'm getting to us, the first time we have to accumulate, and the real accumulate we start coming with the time, and Mr. Swart Gamer wanted to teleport and master. You work in communications that went via Facebook, that all coaches should apply. And no, it's not a function. It's a function of the grand repetition somehow a person that is a television. From that, you get the record A4. Calculating A, nothing to calculating A4. If you went to Germany as the architectural director and then recently with the street engineer to Basel, you are not very dismayed. The technical writer, you can look at when you have to see the restructure all of these things. And then, when you let us went over there, you can do it, and now we make competition. So, now I'm going to get near together. In the text. And then we told them that every letter that would come based on coaches experiment, let it be the responsibilities of the Grand School Association. We have been called, we are documenting our family, there are a lot of claims and capital claims that we have. And so we can agree to take all capital claims. But fortunately, we have struggled. So we agree that after the cases are applied, I said the cases are applied, we are now taking about that. So my radio, just to do a legislative. And when you get to the panel, let people be there, so they are making a process. And then you have to pay your food. But out of the opinion things were not conducted, is to know the view of the city. Because the past time, the way the people to government issue based on technical issues and administrative things. Now send the king on board to schedule executive around the us to provide guidance, let our opinion through, and see who's true. Things were not done. And majority, when you see the level of people around the new people will explain you have good decision making, but we're not going to mention the wrong purpose you are. So all of these factors will go something because of people. These things are not difficult to apply to those relations. We always agree to them so we can know the working relationship. We are experienced a meeting, including the specific supervisor of Grand Gata. We find that I can tell them we can tell community because we're looking at the scene. And so, for every steps, we always invite the superintendent because he is the bridging state between the same community and that of the Grand Gata. Your everybody listen to him. So, the purchase, the effort animal, they should have made after all the processes, they should have been the Grand School Association to vet the coaches and then make recommendation to the superintendent. If he specified because this is the political company that is organized by Ministry of Youth and Sports and then Ministries of Internal Affairs. So you cannot do anything without the confirmation of the superintendent of the company. People are elected or not because he thinks to keep it. Having said that, he has to materialize. And so when we went into the process, and then to step who we get and now yesterday, and he was selected. After that, that meaning alone. The superintendent has to be consulted before any appointment. He has to know to do the appointment. He said, yes, until we can do the communication, we have to before we go to that extent, we are 20 members. We have a team training Morovia. You get my point?
Yeah.
We have a team at training in Morovia that the coach that were appointed and the control. Because even that, we get the process. We came here class, and majority said we have because we want to go to one country for the 1964 bomb of tournament, but how do you need to have to go? And I said to it, they are not the mentoring within the story. So the thing that will give you the one country need to buy it. If I am going to be fair, let me teach someone that will look up. But not that the people to be considered as the country in their equities. And that's the fair. From the time we said this thing, the team paying of the admission fee is being on. I've never been on the training down. You get exactly the children and even the Australian payment. And I refuse. I said, look, it's not in the approval of the superintendent of Nigeria County. He said, look up to should be prioritized. Number two, the law which should come from Morocco and US Nigeria. Everyone want to train on graduates should go to Nigeria because you then do anything and we have your test and only line. So we want to put our work and do our back in. With all of the program we're doing, soliciting forms, which is part of the TOR, is good. But let everybody go to Nigeria. And every day, one of the people training Morocco here, the people spend money. People training training, they spend money. Assuming we get something to chapter to be on the technical team, we get a contractor to join the school association. They are found out BHB wants to implement because we are still authority. And then immediately Moravia show up with the technical advisor. How can the team train here? Then you say the first group is not separate factory, but the Grand School Association. Now the superintendent to take care of the team and to charge you $1,500, which is in the application ground and they are not receiving one. Are you getting my point?
Yeah, you're lying. The war is getting you.
And so they have been our discussion. And after discussion, I went to the superintendent. When we come to Monday, I go and make my report. I'm not working off my jobs. I went and make my report. I told him, after people are training in Morocco, the same time, we have a local team training one year. He said, it's something I know. And we try to, is any valuable training here, you bring it as your own risk. We will prioritize local people because something new is met and the students will not met a lot. And one will be or any other country be. If you are Liberian, if you are Virginia, you want to play both Nigeria in the district, in the very district, and in the country. And when we were sitting, you were there. You were there, you were there. Now I'm looking at it, you were there. The students in the house. Yeah, before I said, no, I'm not there. You were there. And students say, okay, information can come to me because we started to me at the 23rd month. We are not very wrong with it. So if I get there, we put there, I know where to act on that. You're there, okay. What you're doing, what you're not doing, is all to my thinking is, I will feel everybody that will feel out and what we're supposed to do. We put in care of the self community and what we have done far is very good to the country, promoting the country, making money, creating peace and unity is fine. But let everybody work in their problem. And we don't agree. And we think we're training to be seen on Facebook, all of the training we have done, a couple of efforts. Now the same community, the same the president of the Senate of the International or that is subjective, graduate development and technical initiative with the considerations of all of the first country players at one time. So we form the technical defender association in America and also in Morocco. It's almost like GSM yesterday and also a good thing. By GMB people, this thing that I feel like and no anymore, and the other that's one group, the house and Jet team is looking also in America. And so, the Jet team that is somewhere, Mr. Ronald Gibbons is the president of Jet team in America. But he this in the channel. You understand? At the same time, Mr. Ronald Reagan, who is the president of the Justice America, he is the president of the Senate Committee. How can you play the justice role or play the community? So you understand that in the justice meeting, more excellent. Therefore, all of the discussions can be well. Because even though the Senate Committee, they have any debate, they will need all by majority votes. Are we getting up there?
Your points are clear.
They will need all by majority votes because we are all concluded in the bigger meeting. It's a thing concluding and not coming to the table and telling them tomorrow will be having our day. So they will conclude in their not of assessment of meeting, which is in the justice. After conclude, then the Senate Committee will be having a meeting. At which time, when any decision is allowed or derived in the Senate Committee, that decision will be therefore, we have no voice to even raise our argument. I think there is no supporting us. And for me, I work as a way of nations and the superintendent. And when my report of nation, you can go to the superintendent. We also wear a way of nations and president of the safety and the superintendent. You are being appointed as a steering committee, you work as a way of nations and the superintendent. And GIFA. And we then have the thing. The steering committee, in fact, we went ahead the superintendent was all in the industry of you are not in the street in your area, and that was the first and coordinator. And you saw the lesson. I monitor all this morning. That he said the truth. You saw the lesson. You could start for 900 hours. So even if we generating the money in America, and we don't have to pay, and we then doing walking in the park, we said we will use the money. Now, yes, because now give me the authority without counting me, you're not going to get the true one. Just me not supporting me and the top, me and you put my own effort. And when it comes to me coming, just the see us only doing only improving, making confusion among ourselves. After coming me, nobody will come about anything that we come. We will be suffer. When we're coming, you want a lot of politicians. We are not good, we are very trouble. Now, you working with us, also, Mr. King, and then you give it $900 to start it. You think I'm not doing the point. You think, I will expect from me and supposed to work here. Okay? Come to be real with the president, you're not supposed to be aware. Or the students are not supposed to be aware. But you want to sign a document with the court. I'm not being constrained by the authority of GIFA. Brand County, and you will suddenly see a $990 to carry 15 extra to justify the team, pursue the claim, and take the history. When the final selection will be done, after going to the process, in the town room, after going to the process, and the superintendent was in the town room 2 weeks ago, and I said, well, you were there. You said, we were there, all of them were there. I said, go to the process. And I couldn't my position. If people continue to blame you that you will say, apparently, no, I'm not there. I will not know again. So after we have done all of these things, with all the training that we're only taking right now, where you need a legal counsel and see the big $500. Those things are really not policy. Receiving, I don't know, I think to let me know who receiving that is, the receiving, $50, and the second idea is to make the research, the study community make the research to the superintendent of the county, and then recommend, not even recommend, that we have appointed deputy first name, and we appointed the entire barrow staff from Morovia, with the exception of Chapter Israel academic coach. We agree that when you attend the coach, you can come with failure, it's not one. Including the team manager, trainer, they were brought up to the team to share the more exercise. They were appointed from Morocco. The children have the copy in front of me as I speak. And I have the copy here as I speak. We said the thing is a travel meeting. And I will send that to you. I will send it to you. So, my question is, you authority to report all how the permission and you make a decision locally line with the TOR.
Oh.
And the question will be unfair.
All right,
The
Mr.
superintendent told them that all the payment cancel until you can go back on the ground because you actually have used the authority to report coaches.
All right.
Having said that,
Yeah.
Monday, the chairman of the Senate committee went over there and Beverly and the president manager there at the head coach. Then and say we exchange ourselves from the process because we never went down with everybody and this was not the agreement that we have. There we are.
All right, Mr. Dan. Area, are you there?
Yes.
Okay. All right. The superintendent appointed the steering committee, and the superintendent gave the steering committee a TOR. The conflict between the misunderstanding, the debate between the steering committee and GISA is who is responsible to appoint administrators for the teams. GISA is saying that, okay, this is our responsibility. The steering committee is saying this is our responsibility. Now, I know that you have with you there, and thank you for sending out this copy, the term of reference for the steering committee that you did extremely well for us. Now, if you check on the objective of the steering committee, that is on page 2. Page 2, honor objective, paragraph 10, paragraph 11. But firstly, paragraph 6 also mentioned for the steering committee training coaches, referee, and support local football and other sporting governance. That was one on the page 2, honor objective, paragraph 6. It was mentioned in their responsibility honor capacity building to train coaches, referee, and sports administrators to strengthen local football and other sporting governance. On the same page, honor objective, paragraph 11, the steering committee responsibility also, it was mentioned by the superintendent to them that it should engage in recruitment and selections of local players, especially in county, who are resident, while at the same time resuming preparation and selection of the county teams from March to August. And then to the resumption of the national county sport meet each year. Now, how can you reconcile paragraph 6 and paragraph 11 that gave them the opportunity by the superintendent when somebody tell you that you should train coaches? If you not recruit the coaches, how will you train the coaches? Engage in the recruitment and selection of players. So when the steering committee will be charged with the responsibility to recruit and select players, it means that the steering committee need to have administrators that will also put the players together. Now they are recruiting again. They will train coaches. Where are they getting the coaches from before they can train them? You will appoint them, then they train them. We'll go there. How come we will go there now? Let the 2 points then first. The 2 points. Apparently, that was the reason why I'm not speaking for them, but I'm reading what the superintendent wrote. The superintendent authorized them to train coaches. the superintendent did not tell them, say, coaches that will be appointed by Jesus should be trained by you.
Yeah.
As your responsibility, you must train coaches.
Yeah.
So when administrators, the sports administrator, I think in my mind, involve the team manager, the assistant coaches, and you just name them.
Yeah.
So how can you reconcile that, Chief?
I just want to enter this section using only not the approach. And the question, having read the two lines, can you please read the last area before the question of the key out?
Yeah. I will read that side, Chief. But they took.
Summarize what you just read. Having the superintendent indicated that you should train coaches.
Yeah.
That you train coaches and recruit players. Now, in the ending, the third summarize to say, you do not usurp the functions of Gita as their responsibility to appoint all coaches to work all the students. They are all that we have local coaches that were trained in the past, the in the case of coaches who had not divisions who are not letting, that they have, we then using them and finding a way out. And now you are coming. If these coaches now, if we still appointing them, and they are often the country, what you're supposed to do is to elevate them by training them. So you extra pay, you don't bring extra pay to bring new what we have on ground.
Okay, Chief. Yeah, Chief. I come in. I want us to do it little by little. We'll go to the last paragraph. Then from there, I will not have you in the lamp. I will do the analysis of this something. But firstly, I want the world to know and to hear us. Now, paragraph 6. Authorize the people to train coaches. How do you train coaches when you're not selecting them? I come in. Even if you select the DISA, you give them to the steering committee to train them. Granted. But then paragraph 11 authorize them to recruit and do the selections of local players, especially in county, who are resident. So how can you also reconcile that? Is that part of your responsibility? Or that responsibility is not for you, it belongs.
And then tell me now.
Yeah, now you are asking Chief. Yeah, you can come in.
Yes. That's why the steering committee is not getting away from the working relationship of Gita. We are in parallel. We are not converted. We are in parallel. And we are the mother organization. And so the key are instructed to the function of our role. So even Gita having justification, the steering committee, the training of the player or the recruitment process is to be in line with the Great Year Sports Association to mention to follow it. Now they are hard on ground so you people can be able to work together. That does not mean you have to go and recruit players and train them. And then, for example, if these are the people that we want to do, no. I want to say we should recruit the people to train them and have a way out. Now, having means that the assignment that you got is also based on the supervisory role and the supplementary angle to help in the process of Gita. The credit spread is the two thousand that are 2 million the and that is 11. It's almost like when you have a workshop and you have a trainer. Now, these people, they are trainers in the workshop, they are already coming from the very field. You recruited them. Their names were on the list when they come, then the instructors of the world, the trainers can go and provide whatever that is supposed to apply. Now, directly to come to the paper and go, the committee, they assume that the district list that is on the list of the appointed. What are going to have to do all of the process through this training is the same community and the Grand Rescue Association. Where the thing, we all have to stay and get work together. So we see that we don't have any challenges or difficulties to case of any leakages. Now, that year I will not be able to exclude the power because you don't even know the scopes of the Medical Association. So you cannot assume because you have the TOR. Do they reflected GITA TOR? No. But the only thing about here because the superintendent himself.
Do you have a GISA get TOR? Mr. Dean, GISA get TOR?
Am I?
GISA.
No.
Yeah.
GITA got TOR. But because you have speak to that, the president I went on going to me, and then to me last Sunday, you are the head of the Grand Rescue Association. So you are not the president to me, if I'm not speaking to any leader, anybody can come and say, well, this is the speaking to any leader, and this is the president of GITA. GITA is based on the landscape of the government arm. The National Congress First Week is not every time we that is clear upper now that have all of the proceedings something me to more government and upper now something me. That's how we look at it. And you being in the county, you being the former fiscal superintendent, you know all of the processes. So that's how it works. So to clear the answer to question 6 and question 11 that you are, the conclusions of that TOR are covered everything that is speaking about it. So when you read it, it will get better. Why you read from 1 all the way coming down.
Yeah, Chief. I will read it, but I want to. I will read it and use that as the analysis because in the analysis, the public court will be the judge. But when you read it, then I will do the analysis. But just for the benefit of the doubt, I will read it. Now, note the concluding statement of the. I want to show it to our listener following on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook, so that they can also be able to see it. This is the paragraph right there. Okay, now that part, note it says it should be recognized that the work of the steering committee is not to absorb the traditional role of GISA, but to support its work and survival as the authorized county structure responsible for sporting activities. Now, leave it because at the analysis there, because in the analysis the grand means the superintendent already, so that one the public could going to hear that. But again, Mr. Dan, but then move on to the next question because I don't want you to be. I can't want to hold you on one thing, so you can use that your geometrical terminology on me here today. Yeah, now. So with all the hula banu right now, how far are we sport moving forward? Because one team is in Monrovia training, and then another team now, I don't know what the training is ready here. So how far are we now? Where are we in between there? We still not anywhere or we somewhere?
Well, the idea is that the team that is training in Moravia, as for me, I know that there is not there because the credit says the student that will be sent coming that whoever wants to participate in the coming week, you have to break down, but it will also be recognized for us and the people of Granville. Now we have a second division team, which is an Exeter FC, and we have over third and first division team, I can say 16 new countries, but we recognize third division teams that may be under the control of the Liberty Red Sox Association in Granville. They might be 8 to 9. I mean the third division. Then you come to the third division. Before you go to the community team. Then we and then first division players. That's why we moved for and people from around like our brother news and the buyer and then the together and telling them in the county because they have reached that level. Now, the Minister of Youth and Sports have traveled through the 15 counties and ended up in South 15 and even said yesterday they have to follow. Now, this time around, the nurse in the country make for young people talent to promote their schools, all counties this meeting get the non-division players into the company and also prioritize local coaches. That alone shows to us that if you are playing in this County, if you are third division, second division from around here, you can go. You can go the same community as you want to stay away a little right here. And get for the rest of the time, like we say, then the same thing to God across the practice ground, where they will go to one, be very clear and validate the number one. The second thing is, we cannot have team training in Morocco and then we other team training there. So meaning that the coach is selected from Morocco, no matter how much, and then bringing 10 to 15 players to bring the automatic qualified player may be qualified because we may not come back to Morocco because the coach has selected them. All the better that they will make the team feel. And when the practice and then they will be dropped out. Mind you, doesn't mean choice to 75 players. That's nothing to be precise. So if you take 15 from here, how many do you take from Grandia? If you take even 10 from here, you take 15 from Grandia. So instead of ministers and make the correct, and we take from the 7 from leading the common goal, it means that we're supposed to work in parallel and have our eyes focused in one direction.
And once upon a time, you administer district league here, and then at the end of the day, end in a dramatical drama, sector rectification, Putu and I think Kavala, they see long-standing reconciliatory stuff and things. How far are we now with regard to that? What are you guys doing about that?
Well, we still we are saying that in next year, and the grandest of the reason to have that even resolved, and then of course nothing doing, controlling the chairing the district committee, and so that that issue can be resolved, have a first match in future, and then before the district group to start, so that we can be preparing the team. So gradually, I think the issues we are keeping focused on the issues so that we have the country being very peaceful. But to focus and do not be overlapping sessions.
All right, so yeah, also so these are one to get the appointing power, and then the steering committee should just be there, they formulate the funding, and then they must help GISA anytime GISA say they want to use it to develop the teams and then the players. So then the steering committee just go out there, look for the money and can empower GISA. Is that what GISA is actually thinking about? Yeah, what I say, Chief. Yeah, Chief. Yes, so now the thing GISA want now is that GISA won't be doing the appointment power. That what they want get now, the appointment power. So any other community that will come, the issue of appointment of coaches and selecting players and things that one they might not temper with it for GISA, right?
Exactly. It's one of the questions of GISA. It's one of the cardinal questions of
Yes.
yes.
Yes, so it can be able to move ahead, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Number one. Yeah, right.
the second one.
The second one is that you have reservation. We should the appointment. This has not been because yeah, one of you coach. Yeah, once you are appointed and you have the authority, you can show up at our panel. Consultation will be built and it's good. When you have reservation, you show a point, you will not have a prayer. It's not that when the power is invested, then we will go ahead and the And so you there to make sure if the people are training, you send community members and monitor the team and make their recommendation. But you are not there to like, no, I send this to others. As soon as I send community, I send people to do everything. Where the teachers know.
Okay, all right. So, Mr. Dan, before we can take leave from you, because what happened is that we had to read a 5-page document that was presented from the superintendent to the steering committee with the 40, because the public code is going to be the judge. The steering committee is doing something outside of their term of references. Then the next thing is that we're going to open the lines so that people can be able to call to make their contribution, and then we can be able to validate the debate. Finally, you still be on the standby. We'll get back to you to come back on again. But is there any specific thing that you want us to know before we can take leave for you?
Yes, whatever the things I will be on the same is important. My own role of steering plan is not for us to have officials because it's so early. But again, rather, we are support the law of the county. If we are not even reach as far today to win the championship of the national county sports league, then one of these days, we're going to win. And so if we can try and error all counties today, councillors have won with several years or 30 years, 15 years. Today they have won, people are jubilating. And so people who have suffered, and people in the country can testify. We went backward. Now people were putting their houses, our team left in backward, we go, our team say our more. And what's the question? We have not taken any volunteer out of town and take them from there. We make sure and bring every volunteer to the nation of God. Everything today, remember tomorrow, don't come. That is true that we all belong to great here. The God has designated certain people to meet certain people. Everybody have their area. So you, I will not become a coach. Neither I will not go back to become a team manager. As we progress, other positions to carry in the study arena we will go. We not shy away from the campus. We came here to at least to gain a little education to come back to our campus and help ourselves. Which we know we were there. But all those people expect to go to Chapter of Grand County. And today, we turn the opportunity and we come to acquire high education and still during the implementations of the company, we will also make sure and offer teams and grow and work for the people of friendly county. And so I will say straight, I will be on the standby, really clear out that this idea of team training Moravia, I'm not supporting today and I'm not supporting tomorrow. And when to train, don't run here. And what else run here, but not to take any county coach today to the training because we win the championship yesterday and today we're supposed to take 100. Let you win the test. Let's use let's use Germany, let's use Chapla, let's use YouTube Bullet, let's use the training again for the past 2 years. You will come back. You will come back and you will this is why they are training. This is why we go there now. They are going to come to me power and we have the money and we are collecting money. We using the 17 boys and we collecting money. We can send 2-3 of them now to the fact that we really don't come to me. If we think that, we're supposed to have the criteria because they take over the matter of the charity for brand here. But as we say, the minister make it clear that third division and second and one division.
All right, Mr. Dan. Before you can leave, uh, GSA, County Sports Coordinator, who you're really reporting to? The superintendent? No. Grand Gide case study. Okay. All right.
Any funding that comes from Minister of Youth, how any mistake you make out with the Minister of Youth, whatever that comes from the citizen for workers, whatever funding, it goes directly to the office of the superintendent, and they have the authority to make that report through the fiscal office to release that the change of the report.
All right. So it means that you report to your report to the superintendent. The superintendent, through a financial office, will be able to report to the citizen.
Exactly.
Okay, fine. That is the job. We'll get back to you. Just keep monitoring us from where you are right now. Keep listening to Voice of Gedeh Radio. We will get back to you and continue to listen on the line. We'll soon open the line for callers to make their contribution. We want to read a dossier that the superintendent wrote and then analyze it. Then we'll tell the public. It was a nice time talking to you there on the line. We'll take our music up. That was Mr. Aries there, the county sports coordinator for Grand Gedeh overview, his opinion with regard to where we stand right now. Debate, not confrontation. If you have your point to make, we'll soon open the line. We're taking our musical break when we are back. We'll soon open the line so that you can make your contribution for us to move forward. Until then, we'll take our musical break. Grand Gedeh first, Grand Gedeh last. Where are He said the thing we're going for it will surely come to pass. Whether that money we're going to share, whether we're going to eat the poor money, whether we're going to sell the football game, whether we're going to fire protest, the thing we're going for will surely come to pass. I don't know. Your State is a steering committee that successfully hosted Sano County teams. We hosted 126 persons. 2012, there was no lesson learned from that place. I chaired that committee. We operated from a zero-based budgeting. And then we turned over after the teams left. We turned over 94,000 Brenda with access. In people taking off from prison in the place, we don't want behind the airport in the NG. You see what Grand Judah had today? In the midst of the Quran value, we stand to benefit nothing. I don't want to waste your time. Let me read it. They had a call it state or national address where the superintendent wrote and say that I had a term of reference. To be very honest with you, we'll soon switching because I know now the bill coming to start with now, the cross examination coming to start, they coming here current. So we'll soon switch. But again, just to inform you, before I read the superintendent term of reference that he gave the steering committee, the confusion that came between that is unfolding right now between the steering committee and GCA by the superintendent did not do well for the sporting house in this county. The term of reference that the superintendent wrote sparked misunderstanding and confusion between the two groupings, between GISA and between the steering committee. The superintendent of this county, Superintendent Ellis Jessica Grant, was the one that created the confusion between the team. And until he can resolve that, the county teams, Grand Judah County teams this year will be in a confusion the preliminary round. The superintendent created a serious issues that he can't handle until he can go back and redo the term of reference. The term of reference that was produced and given to the steering committee by the superintendent created a confusion between the steering committee and GISA. So treated the people of Grand Judah County like that. You can produce a kind of thing, 5-page document. Besides a big 5 pages document that you produce it, you give power to the people to do what they are doing. At the end of the day, somebody pitch and say, Mr. Superintendent, you forgot about something. When you do that, that will not be okay. Then in one paragraph, less than 5 sentences, then you took all the responsibility from the people again. You put confusion inside between they and Jesus. I come so I can read your dossier. They want to state a national address. They can get a one from you, say, every year. Then you making report in the place here. Then you making report. They can get it, you give it to the county council, then a report you get to them, say, but don't read the superintendent dossier, the one that he wrote for the people. Then go back again, Grand Judah County, anything will wait for, it will surely come to pass. Whether the term of reference the superintendent produce wait for, it will surely come to pass. Whether the team that training in Monrovia will be Grand Judah County team, it will surely come to pass. Whether the protest that can always carry out to second round, that what we're going for, it will surely come to pass. Whether the way we making confusion say here, whether that what we're going for, I think the way you can buy the situation. Grand Judah County play me soccer. Yeah, Grand Judah will play maybe soccer. It depends. What you going for, that what we will get, it will surely come to pass. If a competition we're going for, it will surely come to pass. If a protest we're going for, it will surely come to pass. If a result we're going for positively, it will surely come to pass. But until we can go for the result positively that's supposed to come to play with it. Zumuyaya, 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 Zumuyaya. Everything that you're doing for Grand Jire County, for you're not put confusion inside, it will not be good. What kind of will have in here? County sports meet. You wrote term of reference for the people, you put confusion between them. How the superintendent put confusion between the people? This is the term of reference he gave the people. I will go to that, how they call it. I will go, the term of reference I'm coming to read. Honor objective, paragraph 6 and paragraph 11 that made the superintendent created the confusion between them. Then the concluding statement on his note. The 3 paragraphs created the confusion. Okay, let's see why he started from. Republic of Liberia Ministry of Local Government, County Administration, Benue City, Grand Jire County, Liberia, West Africa. Term of reference, TOR for the 2020-2027 Grand Jire County Steering Committee for the National County Sports Meet. Background: the National County Sports Meet is far more than just a series of football and keyboard matches. It is accurately the most significant social, political, and cultural event in Liberia, established in 1956. It is rooted in the very fabric of Liberian identity. The fundamental importance of the county meet is national unity. Following decades of historical divisions and brutal civil war, the tournament serves as a social glue. On the page, tribal, political, and religious different time of 15 political subdivisions, the counties interact simultaneously in a constructive, non-violent competition. It is worth noting that football is the most popular sport in Liberia, serving as a unifying force across communities. But at the same time, it appeared that the influence of political means the progress of the county teams during the participatory stages. The reality is football or any sports for that fight has its own technical language and know-how. To be successful in sports, you need to develop a well-balanced concept of technical team void of political interferences. Though the morale and financial support are necessary to develop winning teams, in Grand Jire County, sport has significant potential to foster youth engagement, promote peace-building initiatives, and encourage healthy lifestyle. However, challenges such as limited infrastructure, lack of training opportunities, transportation, lodging facilities, sports centers, and inadequate hinder growth. This term of the framework for all football and all sporting development initiatives aimed at addressing these gaps within with proper support and implementations. The involvement of the well knowledgeable sports management team and this hope that the glorious days of our county team will return and reign supreme again. Purpose. The purpose of this TOR is to define the scope, objective, and responsibility for executing a comprehensive football development program in Grand Jira County. It will serve as a managerial document for implementing agency authority as well as the participating youth engagement to manage, and make comprehensive financial sports quarterly or support quarterly and or as needed. The objective from number 1 to number 11. A non-for-profit and non-political body sports development initiative in Grand Jide County to initiate a jumpstart of a managerial technical team that will develop Grand Jide County sporting agenda, aiming at the following development: infrastructure development, improve and expand football marathon programs and other sporting facilities, including community fields and training centers, build and develop keyboard field in the administrative district headquarters in addition to Zwedu City. Liaise with the Ministry of Youth and Sports and the Liberian Football Association (LFA) for the upgrade of the Albert T. White Stadium in Zwedu to a modern turf stadium as in other parts of the country where similar infrastructure are completed. The steering committee engagement establish groundwork program to engage participation among children and young people, including schools, communities, and other social settings. Community cohesion. Use football and other sports as tools for peace building, gender inclusion, and social integration. Partnerships. Collaborate with national and international football association, selecting Grand Jide County former players and the diaspora. Acquisition. Acquire logistics to transport the county teams during competition, sporting, or friendly event. Engage in recruitment and selection. Now the second one. Engage in recruitment and selections of local players, especially in county, are resident, while at the same time the county teams at least 3 months, that is March to August, after and to the resumption of the national county and sports meet each year. Engage in pre-season signing engagement. Engage in pre-season signing engagement with commencement national sports meet. Recruitment time frame. This process will be witnessed with the LFA local authority or authorities. Play local and international test matches. Play test matches with local first and second division teams. Win championships of the national county and sports meet with 4 years time frame. Encourage Grandidians and well-wishers within and out of Liberia to provide moral, cultural, spiritual, and financial support to the county teams as well as the managerial team. Secure and raise at least 250,000 United States dollars. Secure and raise at 2,250 to meet the objective of fully supporting Grand Jide County sports teams and infrastructure development annually. The scope of work: conduct baseline assessment of existing football infrastructure and programs, develop training model for coaches, referees, and administrators, organize county-wide youth and talent identification program, mechanism to track progress, Momola resources and partnership for sustainability, stakeholders, and sponsors. Local government: Grand Jide County Authority, National Football Association, the Liberian Football Association (LFA), Grand Jide former players, women, sectional and social groupings, Grand Gideons in the diaspora, communities and youth representatives, marketeers, students, and other well-wishers, educational institutions, schools and universities, development partners, non-governmental organizations, donor agencies, and private sponsors. Expected outcome: increased participation in football and other sporting activities across age groups and gender in county. Improve qualities of coaches and referees, including players' talent. Enhance football and sports infrastructures in Grand Jide County. Stronger community bond through sports. Pathway for talented youth to progress to national and international level. Win the nation championship at least 1 to 2 times over 4-year time frame. Set up temporary bank accounts in the United States and Liberia, which will be fully controlled by at least 3 members approved by the county superintendent, including the county sports coordinator. Financial reporting, budgets, revenues, and sponsorship, ticket sale, and expenditure. Funds are allowed or allocated, that is, players campaign, lodging facility, maintenance, youth development. Operational reporting, attendance figures, membership growth, training schedules, and event outcomes. Performance metrics for athletes, coaches, and staff. Compliance reporting, statistical data and reporting to monitor players' performances. Adhering to national and international sporting regulations, health and safety standards, first aiders, anti-doping compliance, and ethical codes. Community and social reporting, community engagement programs, grassroots inclusive initiative, reporting on sustainability and corporate social responsibility, accountability reporting. Accountability reporting goes beyond just presenting data. It ensures responsibilities and responsibility for cohesions and outcome in a sporting organization. This means clear structure for balances, performance accountability. Coaches and athletes are accountable for results, but also for conduct and professionalism. Transparent evaluation system, win or loss record, players development, financial accountability, independent audit, and public to the county authorities and preventing corruption, mismanagement, or misuse of funds, ethical accountability, upholding fair play, anti-doping measures, and safeguarding athletes, reporting misconduct or breaches of code of conduct, 8. Duration. The duration of this initial program will be implemented for 4 years. Annual reviews and the judgment based on monitoring result. Finally, note, it shall be recognized that the work of the steering committee is not to absorb the traditional role of DISA, but to support its work and supervise as the authorized support and survivor as the authorized counterstaining structure responsible for sporting activity. I repeat, note, to conclusively conclude, it shall be recognized that the work of the steering committee is not to absorb the additional role or the traditional role of DISA and survivor as the authorized counterstaining structure responsible for sporting activity. And the last sheet was signed by Honorable Ellis Chesia Grant, Superintendent, Grand Gedeh County. Now, sector rectification. We take our musical break, but we are back. Analysis continue. Where are we? We are here. Let's go. The thing will come for it, will surely come to pass. The whole thing say, me, I can't understand. Dude, they will cripple the men there. Why can't you just start with being crippled? I see what the cripple the TOR. These are people cripple the understanding. The seven community cripple the understanding. They will cripple them. Anything you can do for you, what will happen to you? That's the part that I like. One go, hey, one go, Grand Gedeh, one go, hey, one go. Mama, the way people sweet like this. Go out from us to be to the Kai Galify. Go out Theo. Then I answer boy. I Dion Dibley. Then he asked all the OOAFL men that were in the barrio those days. That fought. The steering committee blowing trumpet, the Jesus blowing trumpet, the superintendent holding the trumpet. You don't even know how to hold it. Anytime you attempt to do something that is not in support of Grand Gilead development, this is the feedback you have, Honorable Superintendent. All right then. This is where we are. You know the reason why the juror ran the decision after cross examinations of the term of reference, and the verdict was against the superintendent, that the superintendent created this problem. These are in this county. The mistakes superintendents are making is to make GISA as one of their responsibility. GISA should be an independent institution here with policy, rules, and regulation. The work of GISA should be defined through a defined constitution and policy. The way GISA people will be changed, the way GISA people, GISA, the Grand Gilead Sports Association. All the superintendent, you're coming, you're more holy. One GISA because they should be believe inside. They should be your your own ticket. Can't me coming? Yeah, when they bring money from how they call it, anything that we receive, whether I just whether I slip or somebody back, you won't have decision over it. Okay, you have a decision now. The superintendent of the county, by virtue of here, have a decision to appoint a steering committee so that you can formulate programs. They can formulate program for money to come to help GISA. Honorable Superintendent, from the time it took over till now, this is the third year now. What informs your decisions about the public versus the GISA in the execution of their responsibility? You've been here, you are ministering the affairs of Grand Gilead County. The citizen of Grand Gilead County versus GISA. What are those things that the citizen continue to ventilate? And how can you be a help to GISA to strengthen all these things? Your Hosea district media. The district media created sectional dispute that is yet to be settled. Sectional dispute. The district media Hosea between camps. It never ended. Why you say sports? Why you mentioning it in here? That sports should be used to unify us. When you have created a condition that resulted into sectional dispute in a sporting arena. Now, the next thing is that you give a term of reference to the steering committee. On objective, paragraph 6, people that they should do capacity building, should train coaches and referee and sports administrator to strengthen the local football and other sporting governance in the county. The steering committee that you appointed. So they started recruiting coaches. You are in Zwaju, you are in Grand Gilead County, you are within the 8th administrative district honorable superintendent by virtue of the assignment. The steering committee was constituted. They created chat room. You are in that chat room positions. When debates are raised, you are there. The announcement in that place was the notification about recruiting coaches. You did not tell the people, say, no, you did that one, the steering committee. It's not for you. Even if I wrote a mistake, I realize it now. But I was not for you. You're leaving like Jesus responded that. As a value, as a CEO to Jesus, you breaking the tie. You are the speaker in parliament, in the sporting arena. You are the president pro tem in the sporting arena. You can cut the tie. You can break the tie. You can resolve the debate. Are you sad now you allowed you are temporary in the public court? You produce a table reference that contradicted what you wanted the two groups to have done. Paragraph 6, honor objective, Article 3, in your table reference, tell the people that they should train coaches. How do they train coaches? They can't take any coach that somebody will just bring to train the people to train coaches. And there were no specification coaches in consultation with GISA or coaches that GISA will appoint, certified coaches by GISA. Train them. You did not say so. You said put mature coaches, they put recruiter coaches. In the chat room, they put up the vacancy. People apply. They set a timetable. They did vetting. Oh man, you're staying in Kumata here, but vetting means they look among them. They check beyond them. They look at all their papers. Then they call them, they talk to them before they selected a coach. Now, GISA now is raising the debate that no, that is our responsibility. They indicted you as a superintendent. The two groups indicted you. GISA indicted you in your concluding statement. The last paragraph in the job description said no. The superintendent mentioned it that the people here their work should not come close to GISA responsibility. And the people too say no, the type of reference. In paragraph 6, the superintendent said that, in paragraph 11. Paragraph 11 says engage in the recruitment and the selection of local players, especially Grand Jira County. Yeah, we agree. They come in, so they put the team you're training right now, the steering committee team there. The steering committee will kind of bring their own team to be trained here in Grand Jira. They will bring their own local player here, they will go look for them. And you're doing it outside of the steering player here, then you're at your own detriment because the superintendent told them to engage in the recruitment selection of local player. So, how superintendent, when they are recruiting and selecting local players, how they will select them? They select them through coaches. So they need to certify coaches that they will use now to recruit and select and to recruit, induct, orientate new players. New players. Esports. This is what you did. This is the situation you created. So you need to go back. I don't want to conclude before the grand jury because it will be contentious. So when anytime you hear us telling you that the superintendent created this dramatic or drama, these are things that the superintendent did. You're now the people. They say engage in the recruitment and selections of local players, especially in county. Who they will come. They recruited coaches. Now you said administrator to strengthen local football and other sporting governance. You did not say recruit coaches from in the county. That's what I want the other the sport coordinator, the coordinator to know. There were no specification here. Were not mentioned that the coaches should be local coaches. And none of you register a dissenting view during the vetting process. The steering committee indicted the sport coordinator and GISA president. Now you guys were there during the vetting process. You did not record your dissenting view for it to be on record. I mean, all that you can be doing so, but so your impact rating can get your hard time too bad. Then what do you have grand jury do now? To the steering committee. The steering committee is waiting in now with their term of reference. If you want to teach it, nobody can just teach it like that. The superintendent need to do amendment when you feel that it's creating problem that which you need to do. I know say your can be around the superintendent too. Your I know what you can be doing. Who wrote that here? Behind the superintendent, who wrote it? Allowed the superintendent to sign it. And the superintendent, I'm not too sure. The superintendent signed every page. They signed each of the pages of this. Each one of them, they signed everything. as a notification, as a validation that he's ready. And that's what administrator can do. You get the paper, you read it, you initial it. You see what I'm saying? I just pop in and now somebody tell the superintendent stand from behind the electronics and all the people. You know, nobody can do that. The superintendent read it and I send it to you. And the superintendent submitted what he submitted to the steering committee. Implementation, Mula Balu stamp. Again, we want to give you a chance to put your opinions through here on 0880-878-382 or 0775 151. You want to call us on our WhatsApp line, depending on where you are or from, you can call +231 772 770 212. Remember now, debate, not confrontation. Good evening, welcome to Voice of Gedeh Radio. Who am I talking to? You joining off from where? Yeah, we have our ground rule. You got to dress a little bit. Ground rule, you got to dress a little bit from the monitor chief.
I think it's off now, right?
Yeah, it is. Quickly, your contribution.
When you say quickly, that means I turn the cash, right? So that I can just
Chief, there are so many people on the line. Just give your contribution.
Okay, so I got on the radio when I left the meeting from the steering committee, and I thought your conversation was very interesting. I thought to join that. And the areas in that conversation. But what I like to him was that he concurred with the decision of the steering committee initially, where he said, when we asked him a question as to what plan is the steering committee into resolving the conflict between Kabbalah and Putin. And he confirmed that he is in support of that. And that idea was crafted by today to have a match, a friendly match with Putin, which he confirmed. He also confirmed the visit of the president of GSAS to that particular area. Could it mean he's in agreement with the work of the steering committee? Looking at the document you read, there are three areas I don't want to go, which I have from there to say that the student received materials, which actually I don't want to go to.
You know, you need to say that we are saying that the student did not do well for the poor of Grand Gedeh County. We saying it. Yeah, so don't do that side. Yeah, we will speak for ourselves.
You said he did not confrontation, so I just want to go there. This agreement that Aries and VA have with the steering committee to go to heaven, I am saying strictly that it's a form of deception, all right? Because in this agreement, validated the opposition where they get, which they never received, and the technical committee was set up. Interview was conducted for six applicants, hearings, and being took part in that particular process. Question was really in fact, in the nomination of who wins, who should be coaches, the second person to suggest was being honored next to some of that data, and he is concorded to bring his own assessing for who he trusts most, and that idea was supported. Again, if you look at the scope of work which you read, it is like objective to initiate and don't have a managerial technical team. Now, if you talk about technical team, the technical team is inclusive of the coach, the assistant coach, the technical directors, and so on. Initiating a managerial technical committee, if somebody is involved in the establishment of this committee, in the selection of those people, and that is what the president of this steering committee did. Now, it is being consented to that. Now, if you cannot follow or honor the scope of work to develop training models for watchers, now, you appointed people to kill away from them. You as coaches and players. So in this particular understanding, I am very much 100% convinced that the committee was proceeding in line with the TOR. All right? Then to come out in the public after you give part of the decision and come out in the public and say, what is that? What is that? You want to say, you know, you want to say, or then you come out and say, how dare you? How dare you? That's a high level of perception. And there's nothing to make it produce. You know, the answer. And the question you ask is, where are we going? That's a terrible question. Because you get confused. Whenever you get today, when people are out there and they're requesting reports about that public committee, you took this long time to talk, but you look at that time yesterday to talk. Then, he talked about developing performance metrics. How do you build rating the performance of the coaches? Now you have control on the coaches. And that's why they have to be able to talk, and that's why I'm coming again. What I see happening is to confuse our people. The steering committee, which I stand to support, is in the right direction. From the presentation we made on Saturday, there was no way that the steering committee confirmed that there was a killing of a guilty Moravia. No way. We said that over and over. Somebody asked the question. Can you ask the question? No thinking Moravia that was killing apart from the certain that is in Sunday, which is going to be all we have to go to do. So there is no TV monitor that is doing. Everybody is using that instead of use that to people to buy public sympathy. I'm saying Brazil should go back to its status quo. That is we had a very good level in national council meet. Everybody was he didn't have reaction. He did. He got everybody know that. There is just somebody take that. Part of them are on out. So I should have been ready. They don't want to know they come up to the problem. I see it at the high level of reception. Don't have president be. Let's have peace. The extent of me had a very good footing, and I can tell you, if you rush the next 2 months, you'll see a different thing in this country. President county is becoming a professional. Now, what I mean is that if you not again, and for the good of the country, I won't mind to do that. But let's do what for the good of our people. But again, we cannot say that we confuse our people and the thing that we usually that's at the phone. Keep from learning. Usually the conversation with the woman respectfully set up this committee, usually as a shoe. Like usually to the marriage each other it's not true. The also is not it's when you think about the steering committee, there's this agreement which they have and when they are manipulating the stage. Listen to me that they are part of the decision. Okay? That's what I see. So if you don't make Nigerians, I will tell you now.
Yeah, Mr. Ramsey, before you go, the issue of the superintendent didn't do the people of Grand Gedeh well, that is strictly Voice of Gedeh school of thought. So that one, not anybody. Okay, now, let me tell you, on your term of reference, within what presented to you, to conclude this, that it shall be recognized that the work of the steering committee is not to absorb the traditional role of DISA, but to support its work and survive as the authorized county-standing structure responsible for sporting activity. There were now, Jesus is coming from that with our aim. You should not temper with our responsibility. For us, we are responsible to recruit coaches, so don't recruit coaches. Yeah.
That's what I can tell you something. For all of us to know, China has a traditional responsibility. They have a rule and a traditional institution. They have a rule. Don't talk to China about this or we told China to organize sporting, China to go to places, and organize sporting activities. We told them. We told China to organize and support the division clubs in country. We told them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Ramsey, another thing is that now I want you to clear. I come in. I come in. No, I come in. It's what? It's what? Part of the steering committee? Yes, they are all members of the steering committee. Yeah, I come in and Ramsey. It was mentioned by the superintendent in the job description given to the steering committee. Yeah. The last note, the superintendent said, be aware. Please note, don't forget, you again, be careful. That is the interpretation of note. Now it should be recognized that the work of the steering committee, is not to assault the traditional role of DISA, but to support it. Yes, it work and the survival as the outstanding structure responsible for sports. So they will say where DISA is coming from. Yes, so DISA is very interesting. Let me tell you something. You asked a question, and I was really of a journalist. You asked them where they have TR. And you asked them. I asked them. You asked them whether they have bylaws and constitution. Didn't you? No, I asked them whether they had term of reference. Yeah, only term of reference because I know that they don't have bylaws and constitution. So it means that you might appoint coach because they don't have bylaws and constitution. No. But in that constitution, we're discussing. We are discussing the clause. No, we are discussing the clause in your term of reference. Okay, all right, Mr. Ramsey, we leave it there so that other people can get a chance to call on the line. It was a nice time having you on Voice of Gedeh Radio. We are hoping that you are still monitoring so that if there's anything for the steering committee or any member of the steering committee can also come to make their contribution here. I appreciate that you allow me to speak. You ask a question because if for any reason and there is something that is too but I interfere to my job and I want to disagree, I will say, hey, please, even though I'm in the steering committee, but this particular one is not a steering committee, we should not do it, we should not put it. Let us not follow it. Let it go. Now you sat there, you agree, you wash your hand, you clear it through, you stop. You agree, you consent that. Then you want to confuse it like yes. So Ramsey, what DISA role on our steering committee? Member? You know what? What? Because they are placed on the steering committee. Yeah, you say. Because the role of the president, that they are placed on the committee. You say. Because of any first coordinator. Everything is not DISA. Everything is Okay, all right, then we hold it there and then let's give all of the 10. Okay, all right, Mr. Paul, you still had the opportunity to call back. You still had the opportunity to call back here again. And, you still had the opportunity for you to be able to call back. Okay, fine. Good evening, sir. How are you today? Welcome to the Voice of Gedeh Radio. Who am I talking to? Oh, the person left the line. I know that's that network issue. I know that network issue. So we are hoping that the line will, that the line will come back again. So that's it. Okay. All right. Yes. Good evening, sir. How are you today? Welcome to the Voice of Gedeh Radio. Yeah. And the name of
position, it has to do with authoritative. Now, I want to be used into the even the I want to use authoritative power. You can detect from his presentation that he's too much authoritative. And you know what like that? I'm sorry, you know what like that? Now, if we come out to say the appointment of also the steering committee, it has an authority on GISA to do that. Are you also a member of GISA? Mr. Iridia, that should be the question. Are you part of GISA? You are not part of GISA, neither do you be part of the steering committee. You was appointed by the Ministry of Youth and Sport. You want to get into our country activities. I think you are doing right to control some level of the masses. As a Ministry of Youth and Sport, they are right to represent a country when it comes to the sport. So now, where there is quarrel, you call that person around to the discussion. Then you ask of you wanting to do the job of GISA, which will have you are not member of them, specify or tell us that you just want to exhibit that authoritative behavior everywhere you went. It is not good for our society. And I'm not going to mention my words into this. When you hear us today crying in the name of Jesus, it is because of India behavior. India is too much authority. That when you say this, because of his spirit associated with the Supreme, and because his attendance was done for the Ministry of Youth and Sport, so he took himself to be untouchable. You are going to be the sport reservoir of Nigeria country. What have you done? That is the achievement. The appointment given to you, that is a dividend that Nigeria are benefiting from. Sport in Nigeria country, granted, with all your experience and expertise, you think you back on which you better for a decade now. But can you point out? Well, to be the guy with the supervision you are providing with GISA, in making sure that Nigeria deserve the kind of brother that has also come to them. Look, I'm not saying that I'm so seriously. All the activities, it was masterminded by Syrian jails. Personally, it is every young was, and it was something of this. In fact, if you remember, I left with the father, and one thing, you know, put himself that is untouchable, that everything he said should be the father. It's against the establishment of this steering committee.
Allegedly, you don't have a proof. No, you have to take it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then the steering want to support, you then willing to support our steering committee. It show us most of the time we have to us we're done years ago. If we make any good for him, we should be an African superintendent. Yes, what was you to do that minute? The commission you can say, we deal our development from our school that we country. We asking our GISA leadership. We have been very good for our report. We join the teacher say, yeah, I'm a superintendent. Apparently, we lost a couple of years now. The guy is too authoritative.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you, Berekatu. I gotta give you contribution. It was a nice time talking to you. Let's see, you can switch in the question. Yeah, good evening, son. How are you today? Welcome to Voice of Gedeh Radio. Who am I talking to?
Thank you so much, Lord. So you really, really helpful to me, Daddy.
All right, man, Mr. Badio, go ahead.
Thank you so much for the show tonight. I follow you with the follow Paul Ramsey. I would say thanks to Paul Ramsey for being so much responsible. He just proved that he's from so he spoke like a mature man and a very genuine value.
Mr. Badio, Mr. Badio,
Yeah.
you have to take it by debate, not confrontation. So even from the metro committee, I mean, that area is not from the metro committee, you have to take it back.
I'm not all really yet.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm facing the committee.
yeah, but
And
it,
we are already doing it. So
yeah,
I'll be doing very
yeah, but I know that debate. Yeah, Mr. Badio, Mr. Badio, that debate, not confrontation, you have to take that word back. You got to take it back. Okay, all right, go. I proceed.
Okay, so let me just say on the committee, we are doing well, some initiatives, let me say, we complaining about one thing given to, they might even know that other committee, making an ill to encourage the push, to get a signature, without already you get push, without already, and just in that, you need to do the push that ally of push member for you, right now. Right, you want to take money, that's person to take out it, to national county sports meeting and bring the public credit accounting, right? Whosoever has no how to government to get a sort of the government push, they go push the money to the meeting so that someone will take out things here. Fine. And then we do around with you on that. And what the other councils was not done. You are all out of concept, you get you 14, everything until is on the radio, got it down to the house, and then everything in relation to one is committed, and we see the video in my trip committee, and I will take my to, and then I will thank so much.
Thank you, Info. It was a nice time talking to you on Voice of Gedeh Radio. Keep putting your calls through. Uh, Debate, not confrontation. It was a nice time talking to you on Voice of Gedeh Radio. You know, the problem here is that one thing I want some of you guys to understand is that we don't running Voice of Gedeh the way you think it outside that you want to. The conversation between Info and myself, Info talk about. So we just concluded on that. So you don't ask me, what my side. No. Don't do that. Yeah, this place is debate, not confrontation. Yeah, good evening. How are you today? Welcome to Voice of Gedeh Radio.
Yeah, you so this is also
Yeah, good evening, sir. What's your contribution?
my father 6 and 11 that you read, when you said the superintendent was the one who caused the confusion. When section 6 that talk about training coaches and also recruiting players. When you see the training coaches, it doesn't mean that the committing have been coaches. But the only there, I need to support any local coaches that are not worked out of the country, mean that they know not correct.
Chief. Yeah, Chief.
Yeah.
Now you explaining for the superintendent writing, or it should be indicated here for specification?
No, what Mr. say is that it not mean that you should the self-committee should appoint coaches.
No, the one I'm asking you now, I'm asking you, Chief. You explaining for what the superintendent wrote, or the superintendent should indicate here for specification. For this, you explain why the superintendent wrote. Oh, okay, all right. Yeah, go ahead.
What I'm trying to say is that we don't have the right to appoint. You get me? We don't have the right to people that Israel were appointed, they have the right, they don't have the document, they have the right to support them, to follow them, to get their classification. So as to their push. Now, I was being kind of saying that section 6, we see, everybody has a few hours, then or less they have a quality, who can say personally have the right to reference, then it's sending a friend. And so who is the president? Who is the president of Visa? Visa, they are the president. They have the right to appoint them, the committee have the right to work for friends. And that are the ones that have been the confusion now. So what I do is say, let us work together with Visa and now the self committee of better work together, that the team of bring it. The other thing that was going on now, I was together, it means do some country like you, a country means the win will not do nowhere. So let's do a little confusion, let Visa and now the self committee that go on with grand people in the same time and put it on control. And I will equal that many person and then and resolve coming to me. So that's my recommendation key. Then we
No, stay there here, Chief. Don't go here. Don't read the paragraph 11. Read it. Recruitment and selection of local players. It means that when Jesus found them, then the steering committee will recruit them and select them. The recruiting to be engaged to engage in recruitment and the selections of local players.
Yeah, that one is very committing, like recruit players, but not the coaches. They wouldn't be able to train the coaches, they have to work their effort. And then that is because some of those people who not get it, because some of those coaches, that because they don't have the money that the school can charge them before they train them for running again, document and some of them, and because they have been set up, they train them on the same before they train, before they on the training, they have to go there. And some of the people, they think about what to get in America, and also think that we're going to America, when they will stay, 2 to 3 months. And then they will stay in America. So we want the stuff they want to get into the staff and making sources of that kind of people. And we say, I want to go to America, and doing the training to take care of their something then. We don't have the means of training, the example, we don't have the means of training coaches. So now what the session 6 and 11 about?
No, Chief,
Yeah.
section 11 says recruitment and selection. It did not say train. The steering committee has a response. I come in, Chief. Yeah. So how do you recruit and select players? By 2 coaches. The coaches can select players. The coaches can announce the player listing, or the committee can do that. But the responsibility, the superintendent said that the committee must recruit and select the player. You want to explain that one for the superintendent too? Yeah, the high it will look like, but they want the superintendent to run now. You know, interpreting it. The superintendent said the committee must recruit and select player. Where the coaches coming from? It's not their coaches. The superintendent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
You know, you see the issue we can have in the country and county. We like to pledge our loyalty to our leaders doing the wrong thing. Good evening, welcome to Voice of Gedeh Radio. Who am I talking to? Yeah, you gotta dress a little bit from the noise as a portion of the ground rule. Yeah, why? What's your contribution?
My contribution tonight is thank you very much for the show, and thank those who went on the show tonight. The one thing, the social making to the Evangelian agreement already. Since the committee, this works committee will not put together and come right here and have everything done right here in Sweden, and they will always keep in Monrovia. Monrovia not going to do that. Everything the Brazilian do, it must be in Monrovia. I don't know why. I don't know for what reason. I don't know who's dropping them for the whole county. And this here county rate, let me tell you, that the whole of Brazil, our real Brazil, everybody listen. And let county rate, when the 8 administrative district, you don't have district lead, pay, and they choose another district players. That's what happened. No father will care what they to Monrovia. When they play the Monrovia team there, the team there, well, no father will take the team from Monrovia and say nothing. And will live right here. We will pure water. They will pay sweat. It's going to be for their district.
Well, Mr. Sabon, Mr. Sabon,
Yes, sir.
all the time you put Ben going to Monrovia, that's where you're gonna get in.
Why? Because of what happened. The children in this world this year. By telling the committee that anybody is everywhere. Nobody will out there do anything. You know, do this.
But they say team three in Monrovia.
Anytime they carry the team, they always have the team in Monrovia. They want to be off, they want to be off. Yeah, they get the time out. So they all counted that are playing the county before going to Monrovia. Going to the whole county, they don't have to know what they're doing. Now we live in Monrovia. We are not going here. Everything will do up from Monrovia. Everything will do up Monrovia. We don't have to do nothing. We have to do in Monrovia. So everything in Monrovia. So they said when they get a team up correct on the team how do you want to do? Nothing. No, that's why they're not even leading there.
Yeah, man. C'est mes secondes authority, you're gonna take a year. Okay, Chief. Okay. Okay, Chief. You know, you haven't attended, then I guess someone entered different power. Okay, Chief. It was a nice time talking to you, Mr. Sago. Okay. It was a nice time talking to you, Mr. Sago. You know, we have to debate the issue and face the reality and forget about transferring of the aggression, about confrontation. You know, there is this thing happening between the steering committee and then the GISA leadership. The steering committee, the GISA leadership look at the steering committee term of reference and took one component, one paragraph from there, and the steering committee with each it is mentioned what they are doing. So you see, sometimes if we are sugarcoating the reality, then what can make Grand Judah can go anywhere? You know. Good evening. Welcome to the Voice of Gedeh Radio. Who am I talking to?
Hello?
Yeah. Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Where are you calling off from and who am I
This
talking
is
to?
Amos Williams calling from Caribbean community.
Mr. William, good evening. What's your
Yes,
contribution?
good evening. Yes, yes. Thank you very much for the topic of discussion. You see, our people, they visa. Is it, are they a magnet? If they just remove, like the other people, they just remove the food and play them with new people, and they can make it up our people anyway. You know, our people complaining again to get here, bro, and complaining that. So many people, for the visa, come on, the right thing. So why they tell me to get move and put new people that is thinking and coming up? So then, I'm like,
You are more alive tonight in the world.
thank you. Let's go over. And we suffering. So please, they don't please. Don't come, they go cry and go away. You see, and all what I do, I don't know, because maybe, you see, so that you got go, I believe that. They're doing a county error, the error of the Christian council of correcting the we more of correcting it. So we more people that have the family.
The error, they not bring our 400,000 by the error, they not talk for our 400,000, the superintendent and group will bring it back. Then I Jesus Billy want the error to talk about. Okay, yeah, put it there, we hold it. Okay, thank you. Put it there, we hold it, boy. Not to be there. Put it there, yeah, we hold it. Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir. It was a regard, or even regard to the Gallopville community members said. You know, the point that we're making, we let to sugarcoat the reality. At the end of the day, their country will not be going anywhere. The superintendent is aware before establishing a steering committee. You should know that we have GISA here with a responsibilities. So GISA here, the way that GISA get to do and the way you want the committee to do it should be defined. And making sure that nobody cross carpet with hate messages. What is unfolding right now between GISA and the steering committee, it has the weight of making Grand Gila County not even crossing preliminary round. But people here joking because when you hear superintendent name, then you want to prove to the superintendent that, oh yeah, we are here for you. You're not here for the superintendent. In as much as the superintendent will not be here for Grand Gila issue, is what we should be discussing. And where Grand Gila will be, that's our concern. The superintendent is the one that had a responsibility for the two groups. The superintendent is the one that still having GISA in leadership. The superintendent is the one that formulated the steering committee. What they say intent, what you want the steering committee to do. The superintendent wrote 5-page document here for the period of 4 years. The regime will not even be around here and they don't win election 2029. Every year you're talking about reviewing. The beginning of your term of reference is say for 2026, 2027. Everything inside should be for 2026, 2027. You went in the job description talking about 4 years again in the poor work. What is this? In your job description there, on objective, in paragraph 6 and paragraph 11, you get to put the power so they can be able to, the job description you get the people here, it put GISA out of business. The job description, it put go by the job description here, meaning you don't have a GISA yet. So the steering committee is not in error. The steering committee doing what is required according to their concept, according to their term of reference. I mean, the coaches, the steering committee were not, they were not wrong. The steering committee have announcement out for coaches. There were now the superintendent will say, no, the job you're doing there is not for you. They will say, but almost you mention it here, you say, oh, you're bringing it, let me take it back from there. You're in the same chat room. And the steering committee is talking about recruiting people, giving shortlisting applicants. The steering committee is interviewing people. You, as the chief patron of sport, you did not say anything like that. When some people went back to you and say they're taking our responsibility now, you have problem. You even have problem with what the steering committee was doing. When people talk now, they will be looking at the chat room and stigmatize other people. They say in your chat room, who told information and carry us out. And if to say you get confidentiality in your administration here, the steering committee may again. They won't recruit coaches. You in the same chat room, everybody in the same chat room. There was a heated debate in the chat room. In fact, you're not satisfied with the decision the steering committee took to recruit the coach. You, as the superintendent, appointed the steering committee. So when people are talking about the superintendent is the one that created the problem, then you get listen so that we can be able to tell, because you're not able to tell leaders when they're not in the interest of the people. So therefore, we will do it and we have to do it, we've been doing it. You just get tell them. The leaders are aware, and the superintendent is aware that the job description, the term of reference that he produced for the steering committee created a serious battle between the steering committee and GISA. They shouldn't have mentioned in the job description in the steering committee responsibility here. Concluding his statement, he said it should be recognized that the West Steering Committee is not to absorb the traditional role of the traditional role of Jesus. Why you couldn't specify or attach the traditional role of Jesus so the people can know? You appointed the people then are all around America, I mean like in America. You appointed other people then are in Buchanan, some people in America, some people in Monrovia. The steering committee member then everybody is ready. The traditional responsibility of Jesus, people don't know it. You want people responsible for something that you have not provided for them. Jesus is not telling this is our role. You're not able to tell Jesus you are trying to put you out of business. Then I say you're resolving it. You're not resolving it. The root cause of this thing, you need to spread it out. Now, these are now having issue with the steering committee. The steering committee is now taking their responsibility. The steering committee is now, this is our responsibility as mentioned in our term of reference. All that here, you don't go to the superintendent, go tell him, say the letter, the boy you read, you will send us out there. Plenty of mascata inside, something inside going, to go it, and the other one there going, Port Town, the other one there going to that town. So they put it together so that I can meet in Zai Town for to see how Bell can carry all about the job, carry to them back. You don't do that when you say you want the superintendent. Man, how you do that kind of thing? You think the superintendent will tell you, say, man, I listen to you on the radio, thank you for defending me? This superintendent. You should speak. Then the superintendent say, no. This is where the administration is going. The superintendent says something, say you want to interpret what the superintendent say. The two the superintendent say you want to explain it. So the thing the superintendent say that you the interpreter. Mama, you not tell your friend a job for around here. Teach one time you want people job. And in officer job you want the red. You want to be the spokesman for the superintendent. Okay. You go let him for a pan. You see, January superintendent will not ask you to resign when you get a job. So this is the term of reference. The record will speak for Mama, you carry the record to court. The lawyer will tell you, say, don't indict, then don't entrap the witness on the stand. The record will speak for itself. The thing here, the superintendent gave the two groups together. Today they can't see eye to eye now. Didn't see it? Other people say no. I think the way the other person spoke, I saw it as a disservice because they were part of who were having meeting. Now the other group say, yeah, we're part of them, but then at the end of the day, we're not satisfied. Well, you're not satisfied, you guys, they're not right. You know? Then we talking, they say, where your son? That your son thing, you think that son thing here? This nation takes son. We don't take son, but we try to avoid our conversation so that in the end to come tomorrow, we still want to be friendly so that we can push Grand Gedeh forward and build Grand Gedeh, take Grand Gedeh, and develop Grand Gedeh. So that is the reason why anytime when you're giving your point, we try to see, we're pointing out, we're looking at the wording that you the propensity of making somebody else to think differently. On the negative side, we take it back. That we're not going to friendship. So it's not about taking side. No. Yeah. So this is how we will build Grand Gedeh County. The county sport meet, the Grand Gedeh County Steering Committee. Grand Gedeh. You know the thing about it? The steering committee here, their fear in this particular debate is that they don't decide to see them as people who only go look for money and give it to Jesus for Jesus to use it. So Jesus should not take them like that. That they will just go around collect money from people and go and give it to them, say, you're holding money here, say you're Jesus. Anytime you say you want 2,000, I will give it to you. You want 500, I will give it to you. No. That's not what we're here for. Jesus is now saying, and you know, we the one can appoint coaches, and we the one can do that. You have to work in team to move Grand Gedeh forward. If you're continuing that, they will conclusively conclude that you're not working in the interest of Grand Gedeh. Because simple thing that should be handled. And let me tell you one thing, before we can conclude on this note, the only person that can end anything is the superintendent. One, because the superintendent created it, the superintendent can resolve it. The superintendent is the only one that can interpret to the groupings and put in here. And then the conversation will be laid to rest. And they will move on. And they put the steering committee feel that they generate. Then now, if the steering committee generate the funding, who's supposed to use the money that they generate or that they'll be generating? You're supposed to take the money and put it and give it to Jesus when it was mentioned, when it is when it is within counts. One in America and 1 year that will generate money. And nobody can tell you, say, I agree, I will generate money and just give it to you. I mean, anytime you say thank you, bye bye, then I end. No, nobody's going to do that. We'll take our final musical break. 25 minutes past 11 p.m. here in our country. Today is football, Grand Gedeh County. Where are we? We'll take our final musical break. We are back. Then we'll call it a date. We'll conclusively face the issue. Tomorrow we'll face the issue. On Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday of this week, we are concluding all necessary conversation to have here. The group calling themselves the concerned civil society actors in organization of Grand Gedeh County. We saw a resolution from them declaring vote of no confidence the National Civil Society Council of Grand Gedeh representation. They said they don't want them again. So we hope on Wednesday or Thursday to get the focus person at our concerned group to bring them here, to bring the person here so that we can have the same conversation on it, to know where we are going from this end point. Tomorrow, we come back to you with something totally new to the country. We are making some contribution and conversation, having some conversation, and then so that concerned citizens and Grand Gedeh can talk to us so we can have some meeting. We notice that the inflow, why are always talking about the inflow of Moginami? You can't be talking about the inflow of excavator in Grand Gedeh. The number of excavator in Grand Gedeh County here is some kind of percentage to the number of Moginami in the place. But you're not thinking about it. You're not talking. But again, you bring us some excavator there from some part of Grand Gedeh County where they put digging plenty hole there. When that development initiated they care to that place, that investment they own, what they really doing to that gold mining area there will come from that gold mining area. And that gold mining area there, the play air will come from that place within the world 2 days. And that why not anything for us here. We will use a word from Packing by to Kumantan. So that not anything. We work for 2 days to go and see the number. Citizens calling us and the excavator there are here. Moyana, be very careful. They play here will be another showroom in Labrador here for Excavator Association here. That here the people will be buying excavator from to carry all around the southeast because the number of excavator that in that place is not easy. And a grand Nigeria country. And when you go to the place, say Chinese people, they can always just be telling and say, Superintendent can. Yeah, I blow man. Let's take our business up when we are back. We continue the conversation to resume tomorrow. Remember that a good dancer must want to leave the stage as a prerequisite to our return from the Gedeh Communication Network Incorporated, the voice of Gedeh 88.5 MHz, the voice of the people, the voice of the voiceless. We have to go. The only way we'll win the game, and you know the disadvantages to the Grand Gedeh County teams. There are many. Now, I don't know, but for good number of time now, for Grand Gedeh County teams to leave from Grand Gedeh County to go to Monrovia or go to other counties where they are in grouping, that the team will leave from here and you see that people are jubilating that the Grand Gedeh County team is leaving from here. I don't know, since I came back from 2000 or when anybody from 2004 till now, whether they ever saw Grand Gedeh County teams leaving from Grand Gedeh to go out and go play, that citizen will be jubilating. The reason is because the way we administer the affairs of the county teams. Everybody going to the competition with a set mind. They want to and look after Grand Gedeh. Right now, the county meets. We had issue even with the resumption of the district meets. Nobody thinking about what happened between what we created, not what happened between Putu and Kabbalah. Putu and Kavala will never belong to God. Putu and Kavala, Tie and Kavala, Putu and Quinebo, Putu and Yai Putu continue to be grandchildren. But we, nothing for us without us. We are the one creating the problems. We put people here together. Then we sit down at the back. Grandchildren business. Leaders can manage crisis. The leaders of GISA and the leaders within the steering committee or on the steering committee. And one thing that they're not doing to manage crisis, nobody listen to them. And nobody want to say, okay, so you say, hey, let's see where we are going. But for me, I have a discerning view. Okay, we respect your discerning view. We are in majority, but the rights of the minority needs to be protected. Can we do it this way? Okay, let's see whether we can give you a try from your side. If it is not working, then we can do it this way. People transferring aggression. Grand candidate, grand administrators for sports will not give a coach a contract for the next 3 to 4 years. They'll say, okay, we give you 2 years or 3 years contract. Build the team. Why you want grand candidate to care for? When we not prepared to care for. We're not prepared to care for. Grand candidate can make a difference with a comeback in history about being a champion or champions. After 3 years, we consider the second time finish. From the time you are left on SAD, then pass football to their friend, pay free time boy saying in the name of grand. How you want to be successful now? We can be successful. Build a team for the next 2 years, then you can be proud of that team. If you want to build a local team, then you build a local team. Appoint coach or coaches that will manage the team. The teams, we are looking at 2028 to be declared champions. Grand County can be 5 games. Grand County can be 5 games. Yesterday night, you're looking for, how do you call it? You're looking for confusion to me here. That after every competition, you'll not be able to see one another again. Why about committee that somebody put you on? When they appointed us, when there's in 12 committee to host Sando County teams here, the Grand Sports Association and the LFA, they came and they appointed a committee. They were still wanted to put people on the committee to serve as their eye. I told them, no. If you appoint a committee, you leave every decision with us. We need to have a say. And after everything, then you can audit us. I agree. After we started from the day after, somebody will just call me and say, we need some money to do A, B, C, and D. I say, we're here. It's not possible, sir. At the end of the day, the man who appointed me to be chairman was the first man who go to jail for eating the money we gain. Who able to do that thing here? The first man that appointed us, they say chair the committee and hold Sando County here. We say, how much you get? They say, get money. We're in the street. We were repairing characters in Grand to get this money. We had to beg people from street to street. The Body City, the Baku Do, and myself, and the rest of the other people. We generated money. We ran from NGO offices here. They gave us money. They see what the steering committee doing now. Begging people around for money. We get the money, the boys say, "Mo give it to you." I say, "You mo give it to you." We're not giving it to you. After everything, we make a report, get a report money. In 2 hours' time, they came to make report to one of our sister stations here. They said they used all the money. The money, I kicked the doors quickly and went in the studio. Noise took off from there. The superintendent, people come to my office. The next one that was the PSU car were coming and picking up people from here and carrying them to prison because they ate Grand people money. You say down here when people collect money, you eat the money, and nobody can say anything about it. The superintendent will host a district meet. One single report will not come back to the citizen. That's the superintendent wrote. You do that thing for the superintendent, you point to prison. You want to interpret what the man wrote. So we generate money from the people. We can't give an account to the people. We make mockery out of the people of Grand Gedeh County. When Grand Gedehs are going on the field to cheer their county teams, then we struggling in Grand Gedeh here to be qualified to go. Nobody able to look straight in the faces of the leaders. When you're feeling having district meeting, you can go to the park, you come from there. Nobody making any report. You're serving the people of this county, you don't want to make report to the people of this county. This is the order of the day. This is how we are bearing this county. Eh? So you see where we are right now. The whole thing, enough vestation thing. The steering committee, because I know who passed through. I went on the road before. The steering anybody is same that they will go around to go bake. They're baking all the steering committee members, they're baking around. And they're not only baking around, they are repairing characters. 2012. That was the lesson learned. I used that 2012 situation as a case study for Grand Gedeh. So people should look at what happened to Grand Gedeh 2012. When we got in the street, we had to beg the people and committed our lives to them that when we generate money, we will make report. So the steering committee now generating the money to give it back to the same GISA that the people have problem with, that they can't make report. Nobody can do that. We're not receiving any calls right now. We close on, we're just making an analysis, you know. So this is it. They will be able to use it for the internal purpose. GISA don't even have one bus circle. Check it right here. Nima County then. They have buses to carry their things. When we Grand Gedeh County, I went on the 1964 partner in progress. When will we have the coastal buses to carry our team? You're carrying them in Daewoo buses every year. So the weapon committee, the other communities for all with taking big. They start putting money. So if you don't pay money, you can't get result. When the other county team, when Nima County paying players and paying coaches $1,000, $2,000 US, and you want to get somebody $150, you cannot motivate people. So every time you will have problem with one another because of money business. The whole rural value here between GISA and then how they call it and the steering committee, the money business. Steering committee generating the money, they generating the money, they say the money that we're generating. GISA said our responsibility there. You generate the money, you just give it to us. We will appoint, we will train, and then we will move on. So then they're trying to look back now as a lesson learned in the past. That citizens talking that they can't get report. You see that? And every one of you are all Grand Gedeh back to back. Every one of you are Grand Gedeh back to back. The best thing to do is move Grand Gedeh, play with Grand Gedeh, love Grand Gedeh, and then we can move on. With that, this life, the way we want to see this country, the country will move on. Grand Gedeh County only have 5 games. Then when we beat 5 games, we are champions. In the preliminary round, we will play 3 games. It will only be 2, that's 6 points. That can possibly qualify or to go to Morocco. That game will qualify for semi-final. The second game, the semi-final will be will qualify for final. The last game and the third game, when we beat that game, we are champions. And again, Grand Gedeh County can go to the top. Right now, we should start strategizing and asking ourselves questions. We went to final. We can't keep up. What really happening? What are those things that used to happen to us? When Grand Gedeh moved Monrovia, our problem. People supporting the country. Then go country mean Grand Gedeh, one of the countries that had the highest support. People from different countries supported us. Rest, money, everything went on that camp. Today, for the team to practice, you can't even get Gary Corp for the children to eat. all will use. Everything we generate, it can always use it. So we need a robust committee. We need consistent people. We need people who will tell us everything a chance. Let me have my decision to make sure that the thing become good. So when you see anything happening, I say no, honestly, we did not discuss it that way. And that's it. There are times that people need to accept that, my man, if you think that this will be the best thing for Grand Judea County, then let's do it for the sake of our county's sake. In the absence of that, then we're not heading anywhere. So until we can understand ourselves, until the superintendent can come back, this is what would be good for Grand Judea. You, this is not your responsibility. If you feel that this is where your responsibility is supposed to be, you know that, when you go to the until the superintendent can come in between us, and coming in between us, and we gotta do it with drafting. Whether your picking fall down inside tell picking say no, that Grand Judea be no discussing. Let it just be that I will do it another time. That's it. To conclude, to conclude on this note, this is how we want to appreciate that was part of the voice of crew tonight, making a contribution on how we can face Grand Judea County. Grand Judea will be good again. Sector gratification, face the issue. We'll talk to you tomorrow again, same time, same station.